Welcome, everybody, to this unit of the program. Thank you so much for joining us today. And I am going to give you a little bit of an introduction to the main concepts that really helped me along my own journey of bettering myself, not only physically, but also mentally. So it's going to be an intense video. There is going to be a lot of concepts and probably heavy things. Some you might have heard before, some might be completely new to you. So what I want you to know is whatever is true for you is true. These are just suggestions and things that I'd like you to explore. I'd invite you to consider and play around with, literally just to see what effect they can have on you and your life. This is not meant to be like a lesson about truth or, me being an all-knowing being. Far from that. But these are the things that really helped me tremendously. And I wanted to share them with you so that you too can start seeing things maybe in a different way with a different perspective, just mastering your own thoughts, mastering your mind, and approach things. So the first lesson that we need to talk about is what kind of identity you approach this program with. What I mean by that is basically you can choose what identity you are going to embrace. You can go into this program thinking, I'm doing this 100%. Or you can say, well, I'll try and see what I can get out of this, being a bit skeptical. Or you just came here and you ghost, you don't do the work, you don't feel it's something for you, and you just leave or don't do whatever we're supposed to do here. Ultimately, it is up to you, but just know that whether you see or feel the results of this program, whether you see or feel the benefits of it, and you really understand it, it will come down to how you decide to act upon it. So what you put in is what you get out, and how much we're open to challenge your perspective and see change and feel different will come down to a decision and an attitude. If you feel 0.5% better about something, you can choose to see it as a major change, and you will see it and you will feel great about it, which will drive you to think, more balanced way, more empowered, more positive. And because of that, you will take more action, you will have more self-belief. Or you can decide, oh, well, 0.5% is not enough. I suck. This program sucks. This program doesn't work. I have no idea what I'm doing. And this is how everything goes in my life. And that is what you're going to see. That is the way you're going to feel. And that is what you're going to get out of it. So it's important that you make a decision on how you're going to approach this program, how you're going to tackle these tools, if you use them or not, if you prioritize the calls and posting the group and engaging with the community or not, watching the lessons or not, if you take these ideas and play with them or you reject them. So there is no trying in a way, there is only an intention. So you can intend this to be life-changing, or it can just be another thing that you tried and it didn't work. I will make sure I will do everything in my power to guide you, to support you, to hold space for you and be there for you at any moment, no matter what happens. So I have the same level of engagement that I want you to have. I'm going in 100%. I know this will work. I expect this to work because I put my trust in you. I put the trust in my system. I put the trust in myself. And I know it's a collaboration, is an exploration, is a journey we are onto together. That said, there's a couple of things, a couple of rules that have been extremely beneficial to me, as I told you before, on my journey, and I really wanted to share with you the main ones. And in order to get results and to see also the results of the program, you might want to start thinking in this direction or see like how to use these rules or principles or concepts. So rule number one is an absolute rule of not only this program, as I see it personally, but just in general in life. And that is intent to win. So you can go through life with a full intention of making things happen, or just a neutral intention, like a neutral state of, let's see what happens out of this. Or you can go through life with a counter intention, looking for why these things shouldn't work, or why you shouldn't be able to do things, or trying to prove yourself something about you that you believe you are. And the majority of people go subconsciously through life with an unaware counter intention to things that happen and even defend them. So they go through life believing that they're in a certain way different or powerless, or that nothing works for them because they've tried many things, many different things, many careers, many relationships, programs, courses, diets, workouts, and nothing seems to work. And they say, I really want this. But subconsciously, they're scared of leaving the comfort of what they know, of who they believe they are. And they're most likely subconsciously saying, it is hopeless for me, and I'll prove it to you. So this is this subconscious counter intention. Nothing works for me. I'll never get out of this. I'm special, or I'm powerless. I'm different because of this and this circumstances, and it's hopeless, and I'm going to prove it to you. So if this happens, we shouldn't be judging or saying that it's wrong, but it is an emotionally reactive state of mind that is reinforced by interacting with others, as they might be, for example, finding a deeper connection or a sense of belonging that you share with someone about how scary the world is, or how tough things are, and how you got screwed over, and how the government is flawed. There is a sense of bonding sometimes in blaming or complaining, or just sharing these thoughts, which again, it's not a negative thing per se. We don't want to judge it. We're not saying it's wrong, but we want to look at it for what it is and what it can bring. So if you surround yourself with people that reinforce these beliefs about yourself, about others, and the world, you will kind of want to perpetuate that state. And you go about this like a counter intention. But we're here in this program to shift mindset. We're here to bring you to a powerful, like more empowered state. If you make a decision and you go all in, intending to win, leaning into this process, learning, growing, expanding, accepting ideas, playing with these philosophies, playing with these concepts, reframing things, I will give you this so that you can also start building yourself, and you can expand your awareness, and you can get more empowerment or influence over yourself and over things. So if you're here to prove yourself that this is yet another thing that you suck at, or you aren't the kind of person that can do these things, or you don't believe in these things at all, you will get exactly that. Whatever you want to achieve in life, you must intend to get them. You must intend to win and decide what winning looks for you, which is another very important part. And that is why this is rule number one for me. The golden rule is absolutely intend to win. Set the intention, have the intention. Another part we need to consider is that you. So what is you? What is it? What do I mean by that? We want to be close to life and not effect to it. So you don't want to be the pawn on the chessboard in this game of life, let's call it. You want to be the chess master. What we're doing in this program is changing the perspective of you being just at home on a chessboard of life, but you actually being that chess master. And this program contains the tools and the method in assisting you to finding your own answers to life's questions, your own truths about yourself, about your life, your mind, and how to make sense of all this and discover, again, your personal success formula, what works for you personally, for your health, your wealth, your happiness, and literally how you work best. So if we start by asking ourselves the question, who are you? You're not only a human body. If you have your appendix removed, your personality does not change, right? If you have an operation, a surgical operation or a cosmetic operation, your personality, that you, like the essential you inside, does not change. So you're not any less of who you are because part of you was removed or added. And when you talk about parts of your body, you say, this is my arm, this is my hand, this is my leg, these are my fingers, this is my brain. So instinctively, you know that your body is something that you have, not who or what you are. And your body is something you use. And that's your way to be able to just interact with the physical world and have an impact, build your life, like build things, experience things. Is a vessel for you to interact with whatever is around us. So knowing that energy cannot be destroyed, as the laws of physics and thermodynamics teach us, but it can only be transformed. The thing is, though, If you're not your body, what are you then? That is the question that we want to answer and try to investigate, trying to play with to kick us off, right? So if you're not your body, are you your mind? To answer that, you need to understand what the mind is first. So for a second, I want you to consider seeing your mind as a memory bank containing pictures of all the memories of everything that you've experienced. And when you think of something, you will get a picture of it. So if I asked you, what did you eat for breakfast today? Your mind probably will pull out a picture of it, and instantly, or after a little bit of thinking, usually the mind serves you that picture. And if you can't see these pictures, even with your eyes closed, who's looking at those pictures? It's you. You are a being, an intelligence, a consciousness, the conscious part of yourself, that part that is aware of being aware, that part that is aware of being aware. You are the observer of the inner dialogue, the observer of these thoughts, and you're the observer of your inner state and triggers. So you're not your own thoughts. Play with this idea. This is going to be fundamental. You're not your own thoughts. You're the observer of your thoughts and what happens inside of you. The inner voice, or the stream of sentences that you hear, the inner critic, is simply energy built up that needs to get out somehow. This is not you being weird or special or different. This is how everybody lives. We have instant thoughts, racing thoughts. We think constantly. It is something that just happens. Doesn't mean we need to listen to everything that comes up. Doesn't mean everything that comes up is true. Is energy that needs to be released and is based on these memories and things we've seen, lived, experienced, watching movies, heard about from friends. Is not this perfect truth that you need to absolutely listen to, and it's not you thinking. You can choose to listen or not to listen to it, or to listen to it later when you have more time. And this is why usually when you're experiencing something powerful like anger, high energy state, your thoughts are racing. You describe them as my racing thoughts, and some describe them as anxiety. I'm anxious, or my anxiety is building up. So you're more than your current situation, and you're a perfectly balanced being at the core. And your being and your thoughts and your mind are simply reacting to past lived experiences that trigger it and want to drive it safely to comfort and survival. Your mind and your brain's goals is for you to survive. That's it. It's not for you to expand. It's not for you to win. It's not for you to succeed in anything. It's not for you to grow. It's not for you to get better at things, to achieve more, to help the world, help yourself. The only goal of your brain is literally at a physiological level and like primal level is your survival. So it cannot distinguish between an actual threat, like the hungry tiger in front of you back in the days, or an imagined or perceived stressful thing, like being judged by others at the gym, for instance, right? Your brain feels like it's a threat and will react to the threat the same way. So you will trigger some feelings, and this is why there is an emotional mind that is subconscious. You can see it as you going to a theater piece and you have actors on scene. The scene with the actors playing, that's your emotional subconscious mind. Then you can look at your logical mind, your rational mind, as the narrator, as the director. And most people think, oh, I am the director, I'm the narrator, and I just see your experience and act whatever those people in the scene, the actors in the scene, are going through these emotions. The point is that there is a third part in this setup. That is where we're going to play, and this is you. You are the audience. So do not confuse you with the other two. You're not the actors. You're not the director or the narrator. You're neither the subconscious mind only, the emotions, the actors. You're not only the logical, rational mind, the narrator and director behind the scenes. You are the audience. You're the one that powerfully is looking at what's going on and experiences what they're experiencing. what is going on in your thinking, seeing the thoughts that are happening, being external to all of it in this game we're going to play. And you will look at the theater piece as the audience. So you're the observer. That is how powerful you can decide to see things and be. Now that this setup is part of your understanding and you're trying to play around with it, I'm going to introduce you to certain concepts that really made a huge difference in my life. So I put this together based on years and years of talking to people, coaching people, going through my own personal growth journey, and all the things that literally are what made the difference between me just going subconsciously through things, reacting, being in a hamster wheel, going day by day, to actually take more control of whatever is happening and building what I have today. I really want you to entertain these concepts as new ways of looking at things, a reframe that might be serving you better than what you have now and give you more out of what you are putting in. So I will comment briefly on them, and then in the coaching and throughout the program, of course, we will go deeper into them if they come up for you. But this is just an introduction because I want you to have a list of concepts and principles that you can actually start, playing around with already and entertain as you go throughout your days. So number one is winning or success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. And that is just to say, success is not something that just happens in the future. You don't have something that you achieve and only then it means you're successful. That success is not something that is out there, that is waiting for you magically. Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal, meaning every single day, if you do the little things, if you do what you know needs to be done and you're intending to do it, and it comes from a birthplace of self-development, you want to get somewhere, you want to help people, help yourself be better, expand and grow. That is successful already. So you're already successful today. You're not successful in your future. That future achievement that happens, that idea of when I get that, then is only a manifestation of all the things that happened beforehand. So your focus should be today. Be successful today. Your current reality is not what defines you now. It is what defined you in the past and built up to become this current present reality you are in now. So results, success, achievement are not just happening one day. That is why it's extremely important to remember that success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. And here comes another concept that is goals are to grow, not to get, meaning you don't have a goal simply to get it. You don't want to have a goal because you need to achieve it. You want that goal so that you can stretch towards it, so you can expand, so you can become a better person or like develop, become better in the sense of growing, learning, challenging yourself more, building an identity you're fulfilled and proud of. That is why you want goals to stretch, to grow, to expand, not only to get. And that is a concept that far better serves you, and it will give you so much more fulfillment and such a much better balanced mental state. Number three, you want to double your failures. One of the goals in your life is going to be you want to double the amount of failure, double the amount of things that don't work. That means that you're working towards something that is worthy for you. And that means that you're intending for certain outcomes to happen. This means you're learning. This means things are expanding. So the more feedback you get means a better chance to actually obtain whatever it is that you want, right? If you're talking to someone to obtain something and you only talk to two people and you fail with both, they both say no and they reject you. You're not as close to getting what you want than if you were talking to 2,000 people. 2 versus 2,000, that's a big difference, right? But talking to 2,000 people means facing the idea that you might be rejected and like maybe 1,800 times to only get 200 to say yes. So emotionally, it is a hard thing to go through. And unless you actually understand that the more failures, the more things go wrong, the more things you need to reconsider, that is what actually brings you closer to your goals. you will be very much stuck often in feeling fear for failure. And you want to, in this program and in life, you want to fail fast, you want to fail hard, because that is going to make you understand really what's wrong, how to do better, what things we can prevent next time. So failure is not a word that I personally even use, because it's, if something doesn't go the way I expect it to go, and I choose to look at it and learn the lesson behind it and redirect my focus again immediately, then I haven't failed. I just learned what not to do next time, how not to approach it next time, which means I'm closer to finding better ways and succeed. Next concept we need to bring up is the slight edge principle. And I really recommend reading the book by Jeff Olson called The Slight Edge. Easy read, but absolutely a game changer. So this principle and philosophy is basically saying that every single decision that you take daily in your life determines whether you're going up or you're going down. There is nothing that it just is standing still, stagnant. Everything is either growing or contracting. So either you are expanding, going up, getting closer, or you're contracting, getting down, going further. There is nothing that just is. So whatever decision you make in your life, every little decision you make about your food, the decision to move or not, every micro decision that we think about to say yes or no to someone or something, if you do exercise or not, all these things will compound in time and bring you either up or down. That's it. So this is to remind you of the importance of being present, and every single decision is casting a vote to the person you want to become. So never forget the importance of literally choosing one micro thing compared to the other. Investing $1 today will seem insignificant if you look at it every day, but it will make a huge difference in a few years. Not working out at all today doesn't alter anything big in your life, but it will make an impact if it becomes a tendency. A 10-minute walk today may apparently not make any difference in you building your dream body. Or does it? So our next concept that goes hand in hand with this is focus and attention are a daily practice. If you intend to do something, to get somewhere, you need to be willing to expect for yourself to focus on it as showing up. It's not something that once you decide you want or you will achieve, then you can just go about life and forget about it. You need to return to yourself, to that identity, to that goal, or a way of being every single day in some shape or form, like having some kind of focus that reinforces this is important, this is what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, why I'm doing it. It needs to be a constant showing up for yourself, showing up for that thing, which is why it is quite important how you're choosing your goals and what goals you're focusing on. And another important concept is imagine your future and learn from your past. So most people live in the past, and that's why we'll have triggers. They come in and we're reacting on to a pilot, and we live in a past experience through our past thinking. The past journey determines where we're going instead of start imagining the future and looking at what do I really, really want, which is probably the most important question that if you actually sit down and think about it, it's very difficult to answer to. So type things down, train yourself in the mental gym, imagine your future, rehearse your future in positive terms and terms that you want, not what you expect to happen, just what you intend to happen and what you want to happen. Remember your future. Instead of remembering the past and dwelling in that, remember your future. The more you train it your mind, the more your brain is going to think that it already happened and it's a natural state for you of being that person. So it will align your actions with your future. And going through that, learning from the past is also important. Learning from the past, not seeing it as a deterministic factor, but just a learning experience to redirect the future course of action, right? So what did the past teach me that I can use to actually get to my intentional future? And we focus every single day on that. We show up for it, even if it's just 1 minute every day. That's enough. And another concept connecting to this, to our past, is obstacles, triggers, vulnerability. So the idea you want to play with is that the obstacles and your vulnerability are your biggest strengths. Most likely, you'll have someone you look up to. You'll have some heroes, some people you admire, either someone in the movies or in real life, either alive or not here anymore. It can literally be your parents, or it can be a celebrity. No matter who it is, it's most likely someone that had gone through some struggles in their life and made those circumstances being their biggest strength. Most people that are admired in this world come out of horrible childhoods, persecution, dark moments before the breakthrough. They had to endure a lot of sacrifice, a lot of what you see as negative things impacted their life. And now they use that as fuel. They use that as their expertise, as their why, sometimes to help others go through the same or deal with something or create more. All these triggers, they can be changed into your biggest strength and the biggest weapon you have. The obstacle is the way, which is also the title of a great book that I recommend by Ryan Holiday. And speaking of books, we have one of the concepts here that probably one of the ones that impacted my life the most, and is the concept of psychocybernetics. The concept of psychocybernetics tells basically that everything that you realize in life and then happens in your life is never different from what you believe possible for yourself. What are you able to see, achieve, build, create is no different from the mental self-picture that you have of yourself. So your self-image, whatever you think is attainable, what you think is possible for you, how much money you think you can earn, what future is possible for you, how your looks will be, anything that is basically how you see yourself in your inside, that is also what will happen on the outside. And this other great book that I recommend is called Psychocybernetics by Maxwell Maltz, and is a truly a game changer book that shows you how your inner self image can turn into a very powerful thing you need to work on. And if you don't truly deeply believe something is possible for yourself, there is very little chance that then you will go out and do the actions that will be needed to create that. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy that is very important to shed a light on. That is why we work on our inner selves to see the outer self change. If you're overweight and you want to be leaner, if you're extremely weak and you want to be stronger, if you're single and you want to be in a relationship, if you're under a certain income ceiling and you want to earn more money, whatever it is, if your self-image is not aligned with the kind of person that you want to become, you will never get there. It's just like a thermostat that regulates the temperature in a room. Your self-image self-regulates your behavior and achievements. And if you set the thermostat to a certain temperature, it works to maintain that temperature by making small adjustments. So similarly, your self-image works to maintain the level of success or happiness you believe you deserve. If you view yourself as someone capable of achieving great things, your behavior and your actions will align with that belief. And on the other hand, if your self-image is one of limitation, inadequacy, you will unconsciously sabotage your efforts to reach higher levels of success. So understanding and reshaping your self-image is just the key to unlock your full potential, achieve the outcomes you desire in life. And that is what psychocybernetics teaches us. You will need to redirect your self-image at all times. And if we look at self-image and identity growth, then we need also to look at the concept of new levels, new devils. If we adopt the perspective of a game and you see life as a game, and your aim is to get to new levels and progress through the game of life, just like in a video game, there's going to be challenges, obstacles along the way, right? And at each level, you will meet the boss or the monster to defeat before you actually get access to the next level. So any situation you achieve, whether it was your goal, no matter what level you're on, you will also encounter new problems, and usually more complex ones going on with time and getting to higher and higher levels, right? That is undeniable, and it will always happen. So your goal is to create an exciting game. You want a game of problems and things to solve and a new level to explore. And new levels that you create, you're going to be presented with resistances, with obstacles, with challenges, with these new devils. You are always, in some shape or form, having problems or things to deal with. You will never be totally problem-free in all areas of life. And knowing how to tackle this state of things will be crucial to how then you go and confront these problems and these devils, and how much you can feel in control and balanced and equipped to go to your next level. So new levels, new devils. Your expectations should to create bigger problems and become resilient and know what to do, how to do it, not to just live problem free, because that is a fantasy and it will just lead to frustration and incredibly low energy states. Another rule that we want to know is let go of the need to control the external and to control life as it happens. Whatever happens, what we want to create is your response as a person that is balanced, confident, empowered, poised, and has a proactive way of seeing things, not of a victim or a person that is an effect to life. You want to really learn how to get to let go of the control and let go of the external. Just know it's going to be there. And the only thing you can control is being proactive. What do I do to change that? Or how do I respond to whatever happens to me? Which again leads to your inner self that runs everything. And the importance of living in now and being present is something that we need to train. The more we can be conscious about all the decisions that we talked about, learning, remembering the future, building our self-image, completing these games, observing, reframing, redirecting, the more we feel in control and at peace. And it sounds like a whole lot of things one needs to do daily. But the truth is, all you need is intention, attention, and planning. And the key concept here is you want to plan for greatness. You don't want to get things as they come. You need a plan of action. You need to have focus on high impact activities. So be conscious that there are some things that will move the needle the most for you, personally for you. And you need to focus on those, identifying those activities before you jump into any other thing. So master the basics, master your sleep, your diet, your movement, your inner talk. Do not believe you can do all at once at your 100% at all times. One step at a time, have the right guiding principles like these you're learning here, be the light or the glasses through which you then can see your daily actions and weekly activities. All this brings us to the concept of a holiday every day, meaning you want to take time every single day to go in your little own space and to kind of shut down everything, reconnect with yourself, just let go of things and really recreate or witness your future. What are you willing or wanting to achieve? Leave there for a second. Take a holiday from whatever hardships you're going through or whatever is happening to you today and those external relationships or situation or environment. You want to take this holiday every single day because it's really gonna make a huge difference. And you give yourself a high five in the mirror every morning. Even if you don't feel like it, just do it. You celebrate the wins. You support yourself as you were supporting a friend or a partner or your kid. And it's essential to this process that, another concept, you prime the environment, meaning your physical and relational environment needs to be as optimal as possible. You want to create a situation in your life, in your home, in your office, in your car, in your spaces, where it is easy for you to keep that focus and that attention on what matters to you, on what we're here to build. So you want to prime your kitchen with things that you want to eat and, help us build the habits. You want to take away everything that is not serving you. At the same time, you need to be considering any person or situation that adds that negativity or bad attitude or heaviness or rigidity, taking away from your energy. So this is also something that is related to being able to have tough conversations, which is often the solution to most problems. If you're experiencing a problem, it will probably come down to having a tough conversation with someone or yourself or a thing for that issue to be solved. You cannot play a game of avoidance, as it will deepen the problem and deepen even your sense of helplessness and disempowerment over it. So another rule that is absolutely vital and maybe a little bit of counterintuitive is talking so much about how you need or want to change things or to get the result. We tend to say, oh, I'm so serious about it. I really want this. And you might think that I'm just contradicting myself right here because I'm contradicting my previous points, but I'll drive my point home. You do want to be serious about it, being intentional, but still you want to be playful. You want to have a certain detachment, a certain lightness. You want to focus on playing the game and improve your skills You don't want to take life so seriously in a rigid way with a heavy energy that wants to control at all costs. That is not to say that you need to disengage from society or disengage from all the hardships and injustice of the world. But the more tied up things are, the more tied together atoms as forming matter are, the more they're difficult to carry, they are heavier, and they're breakable. So entertain the idea to approach it being light, flowing organically. You want to get rid of the have tos and musts and should that create the stress. This will allow you to just feel more light, better, more focused, having more energy in general. So you will take better actions, healthier decisions, and things around you will actually start changing instantly for the better. I can guarantee you that. You want to relax, you want to let go, you want to play the game as a learning and growing process in this kind of childlike spirit. Your subconscious mind is an invisible programming. So all your beliefs about yourself drive your actions and your results. If you want to see what your subconscious programming and what your beliefs are about yourself, you can just look at wherever you are right now. There's going to be a big part of your answer. Being aware that whatever is stored in your subconscious mind is driving the car and bringing you the results you want should give you an idea of, I need a change in my life. I don't need to add more things that are just practical and external. I need to work on the root cause. If I want to see change, that is your subconscious mind, your emotional mind, that is your mindset and how you take care of yourself. And here is why there's another concept, namely the power of asking for help and asking the right questions to others and yourself is absolutely key. This is a superpower. This is why we need to work on certain triggers that might make us afraid of asking for help. Some people are not asking questions because they're afraid to get an answer, because they don't want to take action on that answer, or they're fearing being judged by asking questions. So that is why we're going to remove these triggers, make you also able to ask for help, ask the right questions, because the right questions, which will give you the right answers, if you don't fear listening to them and taking action on them, then you're going to do the things you're supposed to do. The only thing that matters is your personal success formula, meaning finding what truly works for you as an individual in your specific life circumstances. So the only way you can do your best work is forging your own method that is nobody else's. And I have found that to be absolutely vital. That is your method. It's not mine. It's not everybody else's. So if you're here in this program, you care about your physical health. You also have certain goals when it comes to how you feel and look in your body. However, these parts of health that we talk about, movement, nutrition, sleep, they are tools. They're not answers to a certain perfect goal or ultimate success. They're tools that help you going through this journey, making you feel the best way possible. They support you and your energy, your spirit, your mental health. They help your body be healthy, but they're not goals in themselves or the only answer to it all. And I say that because most people have these unrealistic expectations. We all have those, and is what I call infatuations. So that is something that we'll work on in this program about what things should look like. This idea of what should it look like? How should you look like? How, I should be behaving, or how should my friends behave, or how people should act, or how things should work, how like my feelings should be. All these ideas, they're just reaction and formations based on your past experiences, what you believe is true, and what you actually expect to happen. However, most of the time, these are just ideals. They're fantasies that we have and never really look more into. We're just accepting them for what they are, and we fall for them and become infatuated with them. And the risk in this is that when we actually get there, we don't like what we see or feel or experience. It's not what we expected, funny enough. So when we get there, we thought most things would be resolved and we would just feel perfectly in balance, fine. But the reality is that there's a new level that we spoke about before. There's just going to be a new level, meaning a new devil, meaning new problems, new obstacles, new challenges. If you play the game right, you're leveling up. So achieving that perfection or hoping to get there, and then my life is going to be perfect, is just an infatuation, is an unrealistic expectation, which means we're setting ourselves up for frustration and a lot of negative feelings. Instead, you want to play with the idea of ultimate freedom that is just balanced, calm, poised, is not needing something. As in, if you don't get that, then your life is completely destroyed. The focus and the skills are going to be letting go being okay with your reaction, understanding it's a game, understanding your response is what matters, and how you respond to things, being more in control by letting go and being present is the way that you become the chess master instead of the pawn on the chessboard. So your biggest ability that you need to remember are imagination and focus. You decide what kind of person and life you want. You practice saying no to every little thing that is not. And in order to become that future dream person, then you need to start acting like that person would act daily. That person in the future, the perfect you, is the same person you are now. You are dream you already. I am already that person. I just need to see it happen in the external world, to kind of like prove it to myself. But the only way that you can prove it is going through the process, is making these choices, is doing the little microscopical things every day, is being present, is being intentional. And it will happen if you day by day develop the skills, the habits, the mindset, the thoughts, the feelings, the energy, the actions, decisions that match what that future you would be, would do, and would have. Otherwise, how would that even be possible? And it all comes down to making a decision and having consistency. So the reason why we speak about these triggers is that they're going to be like lenses that actually alter your perception of yourself and your journey. They distract you. They hold you back. They keep you down instead of having that intentional presence. So the last concept I want to introduce to you is you need to be willing to experience anything. Be willing to experience all the good and the fantastic, all that you perceive as extremely dark and absolutely negative, because now you know that that will give you the power to just see how things are created, to learn from it, to make decisions, to redirect yourself, to grow and expand, to be more playful, and to let go. So whatever happens to you, now you can learn from it. It will give you more power. And if you're not willing to let go, you will never able to go up, because there is kind of like a pendulum swing. The more you can go down, the more you also will be able to swing back up. But if you're meeting resistance and you're not willing to look at things in the eyes and go through the uncomfortable and go through the obstacle and find the solution to the problem or intend to do something, you will be stopped. There will be something that stops you. And that means that you will never going to be able to actually reach those higher levels, because you won't even play the game. So last but not least is master the art of showing up every single day. It doesn't matter if some days you show up at 1%, some days 100%, some days 50%. The thing is, you are always present to yourself, determining that, and you'll remind yourself of what you're doing while you're there, that you are the chess master of your life and the co-creator of it. So let go of the idea that it has to be 100% every day or in a specific way every day, but it just needs to happen the way it's gonna happen that day. Be self-aware, zoom out, be observant. Do not run on autoplay all day long, all the time. Take moments to reconnect to that future self by staying present and be that person already today. This is not something that is written on stone. These are concepts that have been spoken about by several different people in several different ways. My point is, you need to build your personal success formula, and we need to find out what works for you, whether it's diet, movement, sleep, how you think, how you see the world, what you believe about yourself. We need to see what makes it click. And we can only do that by looking at things in the eye, not fearing them, but knowing we are the only ones that can do something about it. And together with the help of me, the community, you will be able to achieve that next level. And it's not just something that will happen, it's already happening. And you are here to do even more. So I really hope this introduction was helpful, that there are some concepts that might be able to, give you something more, something different that you haven't thought about before. I know for some people, they're very woo-woo things, very esoteric, very spiritual. But at the end of the day, what matters is, what can I think? How should I think? How should I behave so that it's easy for me to go out there and feel great and maintain my energy level high, so that, and not necessarily high in the sense of like pumped up and like always wanting to move, just high in the sense of I connect with myself, I have control of myself, I'm allowing things to happen, but I'm also present. I also know where my boundaries are. I know how much to push, what actions to take, when to ask for help, instead of seeing your past as something that is going to determine then your present and your future. If you have that energy being greater in the past, because you drive all your beliefs and what you think and focus about daily on how did I used to act? What kind of person am I? You usually go back in time and you see things that as they are now and how they come from the past, and then energy that you have now is kind of descending, and also it's always like inside. So if you look at the past, you kind of go inside yourself, right? You try to remember. So it's like an act where you kind of close in and you look inside. What we want to do is reversing that, is wanting the past to just be what redirects us, want to be what gives us lessons to be learned, things that we experienced, a pathway to understand ourselves and see the big picture. Okay, these are the points that I had before, but we want that to just like not take away from our future and what is possible. We want it to be the steps that can teach us how to get there faster, but we want the bigger energy to be in the future.